Hey guys, Matt here. This is my review of Predator Badlands. This movie is directed by Dan Trachtenberg, who previously did Prey and Predator Killer of Killers. This movie stars Elle Fanning and Demetrius K. I'm only going to call him that because his name is three parts, very hard to pronounce, and I don't want to risk butchering it. The plot of this movie is a Yautja predator is cast out from his clan and must prove himself by hunting a deadly prey. Now, when I first heard they were making another Predator movie, I got excited because I was hearing rumors about so many different Predator plots, so many different storylines, so many different ways they could go with the franchise. I was hearing things about, feudal Japan. I was hearing about so many different things that would take like the Assassin's Creed premise, but adapt it to having a Predator around. And with Alien Earth just having come out on TV, I was excited to see where this franchise was going to go. Now that Disney essentially owns both properties, I was really intrigued. Are they going to explore more about their predators and their clans and their hierarchy and how they operate, or are we going to get another storyline where humans have to survive a predator? Well, having seen the movie, I can honestly say that it was different. It was unexpected. They did some things that I'm glad they finally did in the Predator franchise, and overall, I enjoyed this. Now, something very interesting this movie did is it has a very small, very limited cast. There's only about probably four individual characters. There's a scene with a bunch of henchmen, but it's like a video game because they're all played by the same actor. Now, if you haven't seen the trailer, I won't divulge too much as to certain aspect of this movie, but something they did very interesting is they combined the universes of Predator and the Alien franchise. Now, I won't go too much into detail about how they did that, but it played a very integral part of this movie, of the plot. So, aside from the main Predator of uh, Deku, he has a brother, he has a father, and then there's Elle Fanning's character, who plays a synth in this movie. She's found by the main predator, and here you get this very familiar premise. I thought it felt a lot like The Mandalorian, where you have a character who's, has his goal set. He's very stuck on his path, his determination. And then he meets a character who he reluctantly kind of watches over, takes care of, and partners up with. Aside from those two characters, you get this creature that's almost like a monkey mixed with like the Cheshire Cat as far as the face goes. He's like the child of this movie, where he's like a dog you find that you take care of, and eventually it tags along with you, and that's kind of what we get in this movie. So the main character, the main predator, he's fine in this movie. A lot of this film is subtitled because they speak in their Klingon like predator language. So it's not until he meets Elle Fanning's character that she has like a translator that they're able to speak some English. Now, the main character is fine. Because he doesn't speak English, he has to act mainly through his mannerisms, his body language. And that works. Something else that works is that he doesn't have his mask on for very long in this movie, which can take away because some parts he looks a little silly, but you have to have those facial features to, express the way you're feeling or the way you're acting or your mood or what have you. And then you have Elle Fanning's character, who is great in this movie. I've always preferred her over her sister, both in the looks department as well as the acting ability. She's really good. She plays a synth in this movie, and she's very outgoing, very helpful, very friendly, which is a nice clash of styles because you have the main character who's very determined and he doesn't want help and he's very stubborn, and seeing him and her kind of have this chemistry, it definitely worked. Elle Fanning plays multiple roles in this movie, which is also interesting because her other character is very the opposite of her. So it's nice to see her in this acting role. Overall, this is a fish out of water kind of movie. It reminded me a lot of like 65 Million Years with Adam Driver, where you have this character who's set in his ways, who's very experienced, who has a goal, but then he meets someone else, and that kind of throws a wrench in his plan, but he also has to look over the character, but also can learn how to grow and change, and that's what we want, right? We want a character to arc in our story. The world that this predator is experiencing was really cool as well. There's a lot of plants and creatures that try to kill you, but then again, in a world of predators, They're trying to kill everything, so everything, rightfully so, is trying to kill them. Now, aside from it feeling like The Mandalorian, there were some comedic moments in this movie. You can definitely feel that Disney owns this property now because this movie is kind of charming, I guess is one word I could describe it in, where everything's not so mean and aggressive and tough. There are some tragic moments, but it's not as brutal as I expected it to be, which is okay because this movie, a lot like Prey and Killer of Killers, is about proving yourself. You have a main character who's trying to do better, to get better, to prove themselves to their clan, to their people, to their peers, and that's what we get in this movie as well. Uh, so aside from it being a Predator movie, it's not as violent, it's not as dramatic, but it does finally, like I said, combine universes that we've wanted to see combined for quite a while in a very interesting way, and does leave it open for more movies, TV shows, what have you, later down the line. Because of that, I'm going to give Predator Badlands a B. This movie's not like the original movie, but they've come quite a long way since then. This is what, the seventh movie in the franchise, so eventually you've got to do something different. And here, it takes a lot after the movie Prey, which was really good in its own right. So until next time, guys, see ya.